Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to find out what happened to William's career in Target. Also, we're here to understand more about the bull run from Dr. Bull Run himself, William Clement III. Your hosts are Pubby and Danish. So, good evening and welcome to another episode of the Toxic Happy Hour, where we are toxic towards scams that delay the adoption of global sound money. Today, Scarf has been to the cleaner, so it is fully loaded and ready for the next leg up to what? William, what are we going to see? Next leg up, what are we talking? 80, 100? What's going to happen? Tell us about the bull run. We need some moon juice.
Yeah, I think it's been kind of surprising to see this prolonged correction here, but it's nothing, in the broader terms of Bitcoin that's abnormal by any means. We're just washing the weak hands out, and the strong hands are coming in to scoop up. I just was checking that. I haven't been on the charts all day long, but I just checked something and saw we had two huge whales step in. One bought, let me see. They made a purchase of 4,718 coins, which is $250 million. And a second one, which was 2,515 coins, which is over $130 million. So while everybody's panicking, the whales are coming in, loving this dip. And it's just weak hands get shaken out. That's all it is.
Yeah, so Poppy has just been ousted right here on Toxic Happy Hour. He went to the pub, he had a beer, and you stepped in and bought the dip with 2,500 Bitcoin. Congratulations, Pubby. What's your take, Pubster?
Hey, man, always be stacking, man. This reminds me a lot of, and I'll ask William about one of his earlier tweets about this consolidation. This reminds me a lot of, remember how long we were sitting between 9,000 and 10,000? I mean, we were there for it felt like, well, you know how Bitcoin time is. It felt like forever, man. 9,400, 9,600 wasn't doing anything. But once that got to the end, look how quickly we went. We not only hit 20,000, but look how quickly we jumped up to 40,000. Now ultimately 50. It feels like that right now, man. Look, obviously, and I know the love in the chat. I started in 2017. I remember how quickly we came back down. This is not the start of any type of bear market. This is just going sideways, man. I'm expecting probably by mid-May, man, that we make the next big push up.
Yeah, I'm just looking for, and I found it here. But William, I'd love to hear you comment first on what Puppy said. But I totally agree that the end of a bull run doesn't trade sideways. The end of a bull run is a blow off top. This is not the end. This is halfway there. And when I talk halfway there, I don't mean halfway between 10 and 60,000. And that means another 50. No, it's like we did 6x and then we may be looking at another 6x, something like that. But William, your comment.
Yeah, I think first of all, if we're just going to zoom in and just talk about today, in these shorter time frames, Bitcoin does have a correlation to, the broader legacy markets, stock market, obviously. And, Janet Yellen had decided to come out today and mention the possibility of raising interest rates, which freaked out the stock market. And we saw this huge dip. I think that's partially why we've seen this huge, well, not huge, but, 3-4% dip that we've seen today. And, like you're saying, when we get to the end of the cycles, we see these huge blow off tops, and we have this huge frenzy of, especially towards the end of the cycle, retail come in and they step in, and that's when smart money starts to sell off, when there's the liquidity for them to start trimming their positions into the strength. And, the tops are formed not by a increase of sellers, but rather a lack of demand coming in and continually just pushing the price up, right? And so when we get towards the end, you have this, straight vertical line, and nobody's going to buy that. And as much as people like to talk about a super cycle, if we don't see if we see a deterioration in trust in the dollar, that's that could change a lot of things, obviously. But granted, no kind of crazy events like that happen. I think we will see the human psychology play out again of, people towards the end, the greed steps in, and then there's a lack of demand, and we will at least have some kind of major blow off top there at the end.
Actually, that's the same thing that I've been saying, that sooner or later, yes, there will be hyper Bitcoinization, there will be hyperinflation. That's the same coin, two different sides, and super cycle. But until, as you're saying, something like that happens where there's a collapse in the trust of the dollar or the general fiat currency system, or the bond market realizes that 300 trillion should not be sitting and getting no return, but can do the contango trade. Or as one commenter said on the last video, I think it was, the SCAF tango trade. If that 300 trillion comes over, of course it's going to push the price so high that on Bitcoin that it's going to be game over for fiat. But if those, like, one of these major event doesn't happen before this bull run's normal cycle top, then I believe we will see that blow off top, and then we will get a hard correction. I'll win a stake bet I have going on with Pubby, and then I don't think there'll be a long bear market, but the cycle, I believe in that until one of these events changes the entire picture. Pubby.
Yeah, I don't know what more I can add to this. William's the guy that can get on glass into there behind the numbers, and I always love reading through his tweets, man, because everything he puts out is absolutely fantastic content. I think what's been interesting to me to watch play out, and it's sort of strange with not really this going sideways. Everything going on with Dogecoin, Elon Musk, all this stuff pumping up, and the new people coming into space. It reminds me, of course, of 2017 when, you come in, everyone's like, well, fuck, $17,000. I'm not going to buy that. And so everyone was piling in all these altcoins. And man, does history repeat itself? Everyone's just piling in. Oh, look at the Dogecoin's the next Bitcoin. And I mean, I'm just sitting back and waiting for, all season could take off, but people are just going to get wrecked again.
Yeah, it's hilarious to see, some of these crazy, you're seeing like Dogecoin at a $77 billion market cap. I mean, it's just nuts.
Actually, that says everything you need to know about altcoins is that Dogecoin right now is number 4 on the cryptocurrency list. And Dogecoin was consciously and publicly announced as a joke, as a meme coin, saying like, we're just doing this random stuff over here. But that's now been pumped to being number 4, and is not even trying to be money of the future. But now people think that, and a lot of people ask me question, hey, what about this Doge thing? So I made a post today on eToro saying, I'm getting a lot of questions, so I just want to make clear that in my opinion is not the future. And by the way, I don't know what's going on. 125 viewers. These are unusual numbers. We tried to get rid of our good friends in Europe, but they're hanging out in the chat right now, playing Marcus and Yellow. So I don't know what happened. We got 125 live viewers. We're not used to seeing these numbers.
No, we did have these numbers once. I think it's when we did the Toxic Lady show. We had Katie and friends on. There were a lot of numbers.
Right.
No, you know what this is, man? This is all. I think this could be Australian love. Australians never get to watch our shit, man. They don't. It's middle of the night because I've talked to a few of them, and they've said, we love your show, but it's 4 o'clock in the morning usually here. I think we have some Australia love. Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah. So William, listen, before we get into, because I really want to hear about market value, realized value adjusted for volatility. That graph that you sent out earlier today, which is supposed to be such a good indicator for when we are at or very near a top. Why don't you first tell us about what happened to that promising career at Target? What were you actually doing there, and what is it that you've given up to now chase Bitcoin as a full-time thing?
Yeah, it was a really tough decision, man. I was loving it over there. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, over at Target, I did the like the personal shopping for the pickup orders. So like when whenever you place an online order and they come bring it out to your car, I was the guy in the store that would walk through and shop the order. Of course, always would have a headphone in, listening to some kind of podcast, Bitcoin related. But I was ready to call it quits, and then I've had the privilege of getting a couple offers from different people in the ecosystem, and it was time, man. It was time to part ways with the Target. So short Target, long Bitcoin. That's the moral of the story here.
So I was going to ask, I would have pictured you more like for Best Buy Geek Squad. I thought you'd been all over those computers, man.
Yeah, I had a couple shifts in the technology, in the little the tech space in the back, but I can't really stand still. I like to keep it moving. I like to be walking around the whole shift. So I like the in-store shop. And I didn't have to deal with customers, right? Like nobody bothered me. I would just walk around, do my own thing, and I was just, and I have to talk to. I mean, people would ask me where stuff is and all that kind of stuff. For the most part, I didn't have to deal with customers, which I liked.
So are you at liberty to say what you'll be doing now in the Bitcoin space?
Yeah. So I was kind of deciding through a couple different offers, which obviously, I'm appreciative for them all, but I've decided to go with Anthony Pompliano and myself are creating a market analysis. We're starting it off now. Eventually, it'll probably become an LLC, but we're for now just releasing 3 different newsletters a week, which are free, by the way, because I know everyone's going to give me crap for making a newsletter, but it's free. So don't worry about that. It's going to be Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday. And the Friday one is going to be a recap of everything throughout the week. The Monday one will be kind of a run over from the weekend and anything that had happened over the weekend. Wednesday will probably be a shorter one, just kind of touching on, midweek, if anything's changing or if, we're seeing the same trends in the data. And like I said, Friday will be that kind of review of everything we've seen thus far throughout the week. And then Saturday, we're going to do a short podcast on his show, just kind of basically just running over what we're talking about in the Friday newsletter. So yeah, I'm very excited. I had a couple offers for to work for like, a fund or things like that. But I really think this is advantageous for me because, first of all, I can wear a hoodie and I don't have to put on a suit, which is great. But also I'm interested in just, putting out as much content as I can and making it publicly available. That's really, it sounds corny, but that's really why I started the whole, the whole Twitter thing where I started putting out all this content is I think when you have and we talked about this on the last show, a lot of Bitcoiners understand how the Bitcoin market intuitively functions, right? We have these huge blow off cycles and, in the bear market that we're just basically consolidating. We're shaking out all the speculators that jumped in during the bull market and miners capitulating, these kinds of things. But when you have the data there to tell you that, it gives you a lot more reassurance, right? Like when we had the dip 2 weeks ago and we had that flash crash, like 15% in an hour, right? And everybody's freaking out. When you look at the data points and you zoom out and you say, this is just a correction, right? There's nothing structurally that has changed in terms of what makes the bull market tick, right? So I think that's really advantageous to get that out to the community. I know obviously Willie Woo's doing an amazing job. Half of the stuff that I'm looking at or analyzing was created by him, or he had some part in reviewing it. But he's going on paternity leave here for a month or two, so hopefully I can hold it down at least to an extent for the on-chain side of things. And I hope, I know sometimes the stuff I post probably comes off like I'm just being. I had some guy commenting last night saying, I was a moon boy and I'm posting stuff for engagement and all this, but it really comes down to, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to reassure people, right? Because it's easy to get caught up in the emotional mood swings of things. But when you really look at the data, there's nothing to be worried about.
Yeah, it's funny you bring up Willie Woo. And I'm trying to think what podcast. Oh yeah, with Peter McCormick. I guess he still has an open bet out there, and I think his line was Bitcoin would not go below 44,600. And then, but I like your tweet better. You don't think we'll ever go back below 50 again, do you?
No, I don't think so. I think we're getting near bottom here. I mean, I could be wrong. I thought we were going to bounce off of 54, 55K last night because I'm looking at the volume support zones. So these zones where there's a lot of volume, there's a massive volume support zone around 54 to 55K, which we bounced off that. But then, 4 or 5 hours later, we actually came back down and broke through that. And then we bounced off the next one, which was right around 53K. And then we'll see. I'm not sure if the support zone will hold, but yeah, I don't think that we'll go below 50K. And that's based off of something called NVT price. So NVT price was created by Willie Woo. It's basically taking the amount of on-chain transaction volume and then taking a ratio of that to, the market cap, and then taking a ratio of that to the transaction volume. And then the way he calculates that price is proprietary, but it's public information. If you want to go on his website and you can pull up, just look at, he has different price models on his website and just click on NVT price. And that price is steadily going up. So you can think of that as kind of the organic valuation that's made for Bitcoin based off of like the activity from investors on chain. So that's one thing, and then also the on-chain volume itself. There's a pretty strong support zone there at 51K, in addition to where we're sitting at now at 53K, because that's, I believe, obviously the $1 trillion threshold is moving up every day as there's more supply, right? Because it's the supply multiplied by the price to get the market cap. So as you're adding in more supply, you need more buyers stepping in to continually push up that market cap. So like let's say price doesn't budge, right, for a month, but we're sitting at the same price, right? Let's say we're sitting at 55 or 53K for a month, right? And although price isn't going up, the market cap is going up, because to sustain that price, there's more supply. So it takes a larger pool of money to sustain that market cap, right? To sustain that price. So the market cap is going up even if price may not be moving up. But at any rate, yeah. So there's a couple on-chain support zones that are lining up right around that 50K zone, and they're also really strong at 53K. To be honest, I would be surprised if we see a close, because all of these metrics they're based off of daily closes. So if you see price dip down, I don't know, below $1,000 or $2,000 below that, I would still be surprised to see that, but these are all calculated based off of the daily close prices. So I don't think that we'll have a daily close below 50K.
Right. That sounds good. I always say, look, the short term, it is fairly unpredictable. You can't say much with certainty. I say when we go medium term, you can be a lot more certain. By that I mean like a halving cycle. Like, I think we all have quite a confidence that we are going to see 300,000 very likely this year. And long term is by far most predictable, I think, because it's game over for fiat is going to die and Bitcoin will take over as money of the world, store value of the world. William, what I'd like if you could just tell us where can people find the work that you're doing now with Pompliano. It's on his website. You sign up one place, and then you get all these newsletters, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday recap. Is that correct? And then I have one more question.
Yeah. Thanks for the segue and plugging me in. But yeah, I'm going to post something Thursday, I think, and then he'll put something out on his Twitter as well. But It'll be, you just will type in your email, just like if anybody's familiar with Substack, you just type in your email and then it'll automatically get sent to you every Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay. So that was my first question. The second one is, so we all know that you're like a specialist, actually an expert on
And away he goes.
Yeah, I lost you guys, right?
Yeah, I thought you had the first Anders rug pull.
Yeah, so I'm in a new location and I'm moving too far away from internet to be a little bit isolated, which I'm afraid that means I lose internet. So I'm back. But yeah, so my second question is, William, you're a specialist in on-chain, but will these newsletters help people understand when the bull run top will come? Will it help us identify that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't want to sidestep your question, but we've been pumping since we started this at 8. Both of these 15-minute daily candles are green. We're back over 54K, so that's pretty good. But
the scarf pump is real, man.
Man, I'm telling you, this is what happened last time. I told you I got to get to Glassnode about the toxic happy hour indicator. But yeah, so to answer your question, I think it'll help, right? It's really hard to time the perfect top. I don't think anybody has. If anybody tells you they know when the top is, they're either lying to you or they're naive. And but what you can do is you can know when we're around it. I don't think it's easy to know before, but when we get on the backside of that break, you can see like fundamental changes in the on-chain structure, and you say, okay, it's hard to do so, and then I'm sure it'll be a challenge for me to do this, but to separate the looks in the data from just a regular consolidation to an actual break in the structure. And that's not something you can really see till probably weeks after. So, for example, like in last cycle, I don't think you could have timed 20K, obviously, but maybe you could have timed it on the way back down, and then around 14, 15K realized that some of the structure was breaking up there, and some of these metrics had flashed some obvious top signals, and then you can make decisions from there. I personally wouldn't try to time the top, but I will potentially, when we get up in that frothy zone, obviously like it changes day to day. But when we get there, and to me personally, and obviously I'll be listening closely to like Willie Woo and these other people that have much more experience than me, but when it seems like we're getting frothy and getting towards the top, I would consider just buying some going short on the futures and just kind of like locking in that price, because then if we go down, you have that price locked in. But if we continue to go up, you still have your long position, so you're still getting that upside. But I don't know. That's not a recommendation for everybody, but I might do that with like a very small portion of my stack just to kind of lock that price in. But I know by no means will I be trying to, sell the top and then buy back lower. I think anybody who's trying to do that is just kidding themselves.
Oh, absolutely. A question I have for you is, now because we're in this transition period, from retail to the big investments coming in, and one of the bets we have with Anders, Greg Zaj, I think is in the chat. Yeah, fuck you, Greg. One of the bets we had with Anders was traditional pullback of 50%, 80%, whatever. At what point do you realize that, this cycle is different? There won't be the pullback. At what point, or what do you look for in a number to say, Jesus, we may not even get a 20% or a 10% pullback?
Yeah, it's hard to say, man, because when we it'll have to be something that we kind of look at when we get there. I know I'm kind of copping out with the answer to that, but it's hard to distinguish some of these different signatures and the stuff from just just a normal consolidation versus, and like I said, like actual break in the structure. And then that will also need to look at things like, the behavior of long-term holders, or, because long-term holders usually sell off at the end of the cycle, and as retail steps in. And then, also if we start to see these institutions piling in, there's probably this delayed effect when, for example, like Michael Saylor did his education for corporates, right? Where all these corporates kind of got plugged into the Bitcoin, playbook, and it's going to take them months to go from deciding, let's say, that they want to they want to buy in to actually being able to buy in. And so we might see this delayed effect. And so if we start to see that towards the end of the year, maybe we see like a 2013, double pump. It's really hard to say now.
Yeah. Just real quick, Anders, to finish up. Yeah. Traditionally, since you come in, everyone looks at sort of the timing. Okay. After this many months after a halving, this happens. This many months after that, bear market starts. So traditionally, I believe Bitcoiners have really looked at almost the time between halvings or during halvings of when this stuff happens. I didn't know if there were other indicators besides that. That's all.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I know Preston uses like the blocks, right? Like the block, the length after the halving. So like you see these 3 really distinctive 70,000 block segments in each cycle. And then like, I forget who posted this chart. It might've been like 2 weeks ago, but I know Preston and Plan B both posted it. It really blew up on Twitter, but it was this cycle compared to previous cycles based off of the length of blocks through into the cycle. And it was really kind of creepy to see us dip in at the exact same time that we did in 2013 and 2017. Like Bitcoin is very mechanical, and it's going to take something fundamental to really break us out of these cycles. But obviously, eventually it will happen. I mean, I would put my money on next cycle rather than this cycle, though. But eventually we will break through. If you kind of think of it as like a battering ram, it's stronger hit every time, and then finally we bust through the door. It's just a matter of when that is, and that's why you hodl, because you have no idea, But I think it's something where if we start to see this fundamental shift either in trust in the U.S. dollar, or we start to see the institutions flood in like on the back end, right? Like if we start to see institutions in the coming months, it would kind of line up with the acceleration of the cycle and that midway point where we really start to ramp up as this new institutional demand comes in. But if we get to the back end where usually the cycle starts to cool down, and then all of a sudden we see this huge second wave of demand, it might kind of like backstop that usual where we would see a top, and we might see another double pump. If you guys don't mind, I keep seeing this guy in the chat asking this question. He says, from Glassnode, looks like new entities growth has gone down sharply. What are your thoughts here? Willie Woo says this is the most important metric in the bull market. So, yeah, so entity net growth is a very important metric. So essentially what it's doing is so Glassnode clusters together different addresses, and they have these like proprietary, obviously, forensic algorithms where they cluster different addresses and say, okay, this looks like one person. This group of addresses looks like one person. Or maybe not person, but entity. So entity could be one of us who has their Bitcoin in cold storage. It could be a corporation. It could be an investment fund. And so in the bull market, we obviously see these huge like exponential spikes in the new entities that are coming on. And so net entity growth, though, subtracts the dead addresses. So the addresses that look like, they're never going to be used again. And so it subtracts the new entities coming on from the entities that it seems like they're no longer on the network. And so you get net entity growth. So like it's like technical term, but it really just means like net user growth on the network. I think that's a good way to put it. And Parker's right. So we have seen a drop in that, but that's not abnormal. We see oscillations in that all throughout the bull market. I would say if you run a moving average over it, you'll see we're still in this huge uptrend. A lot of these things, there's a lot of volatility in a lot of these metrics. So sometimes it can be beneficial to run something simple like a 3-day or a 7-day moving average, and you'll see a smoother picture of what's really going on and kind of like the broader trend of it. I just wanted to, because I saw you asked that like 3 times.
So two questions to that. If new users come to Bitcoin and they buy an exchange, they leave it on an exchange, would that even show up in this?
No.
And the second, it wouldn't?
No.
Right?
Yeah,
right.
Because that's not on the blockchain, right?
Right, exactly. All right, so I just want to go back to the thing you said earlier about trading the top. So I am doing that to a small extent, and of course it's super controversial, but that's what I spent most of my time on, is looking at this anatomy of this bull run, the previous bull runs, and looking at many different factors, of which on-chain is one of them. And as you say, no one can time the exact top. That's a lot of luck to do with that. So as other people have mentioned before, dollar cost averaging in can also mean dollar cost averaging out, if you believe that, all right, we're getting in the neighborhood, and then you can spread it out, small portions that you sell over a 60-day period. And I know that there's a lot of pushback from this already. There is from Pubby in the chat, but this is no different than I know from other people that are not public about it, but they're telling me that they're paying off debt during the bull run. I'm talking about this is it's to me a professional academic challenge that I need to pull off for my own sake and for other people's sake. That's what I do on eToro, and I believe it can be done, and it's no different than others. I mean, instead of taking it out as US dollars profits, I'm aiming to rebuy cheaper and accumulate more Bitcoin. So yeah, now welcome all the pushback, or we can leave it at that. But as Justin says, Pubby, let Pubby speak.
Hey man, everyone here, they're not here for me to speak. They're here probably for William, man. That's why we got. Man, we're almost at about 150 live. That's pretty fantastic. Apparently, we got some fans in Korea as well. No, I would just say, in your estimation, and it's not by timing or maybe by metrics a little bit. Where is big? If you run this back to like the 2017, I know that they can't be perfectly matched up. What month of 2017 are we currently at? Do you think in this run where December, January, of course, was a blow off. But where would you put Bitcoin on that same sort of chart? Are we in May or June at that time?
Yeah, that's a really good question, man. So the way to kind of determine that is just by looking at these metrics and saying, okay, the value of this metric in comparison to 2013, are they, roughly at the same level? And, there's 3 or 4 different metrics that all across the board are saying we're right around 3 to 5K in 2017. I don't know exactly. I think that's like in June or something like that. I might be wrong.
Well, what did you say the price was? Sorry, I had to. Well, yeah. At which price point are you saying that we're similar at? Let me know the price, and I'll tell you the 2017 timing approximately.
About 3 to 5K.
Yeah, I think that happened in August. I think 1st of August, pretty quickly we're at 2.5, and then we went to 5K by the end of August. I can just also check out the chart as we speak. It'll take a little while to go back, but I think that's around August.
Now, wages to freedom in the chat just said, yeah, 3 to 5K was August. I can tell you December prices. That's when I started. It was high. I'm still here.
See, this is what I do. I look at the bull runs and every single one of them. So I got that one right. Thanks, wages to freedom.
Hey guys, I'm gonna be right back. I'm about to hop over to the bathroom real quick. Before I go, I just wanted to say we're still pumping, man. The third straight 15-minute candle. We're up to 54,600. I'll be right back.
And when you come back, William, bring your scarf. He's gone. No, he's there.
I have one scarf. It's my sister's pink scarf, so I decided to leave it upstairs.
Dude, the pink scarf rocks. All right, we'll see you in a second. Yeah, Puppy.
For being the smartest kid I know, I can't believe he's dumb enough to keep coming on our show.
No, but
he's fantastic, dude. Can you imagine at that age having this type of insight and knowledge? His future is going to be so exciting, isn't it?
I mean, absolutely. Look, this kid is going places, but already now it's exciting. Imagine sitting and looking at the Bitcoin blockchain on chain with data from Glassnode and seeing what's happening in the future money of the world. But you're right. I mean, he's only he's going very far. This is the age of 19, right? So, but I think we're lucky to find William having great insights early on, and we had him on in April. Now we have him on in May, and I remember I got him committed by the end of last show to come on and do a monthly bull run anatomy.
Yeah, what do you call him now? Dr. Bull Run. That's what you call him.
I called William.
I died laughing when I saw that, man. I literally busted out loud. Who came up with that?
That's Anders. Hey,
I give people names. I gave Puppy the name Puppy. He called himself Pup Lord. I made it Puppy. Oh, and you're Dr. Bull Run.
First off, shout out to Sweet Toshi, if you're watching, because he was handing out all the lordships, and he knew I enjoyed a good pub and a beer, and I got Pub Lord, which of course Anders turned into Pubby. So here we are. But yeah, William, man, I'll explain to Anders at 19, the life you have ahead of you is going to be amazing, man. The old guys like us, look, what we can enjoy our Bitcoin for now, man. You got another 80 years of this shit in front of you, man. I think it's amazing. You have 80 years to watch Bitcoin change.
Thank you, Pubby, for real. Well, first of all, that really means a lot, man. But I think it's kind of sad when you have these. You guys aren't that old, but I talked to God, I forget the guy's name. He's pretty old. He's a Bitcoiner, but I was on a podcast with him last week on BTC sessions. God, I can't believe I forgot the guy's name. But I was like, "What? You know who I'm talking about?"
Yeah. What's his name? Runs the. I know who you're talking about. I have to look him up here, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, man, like he gets it, obviously. Oh, Gary. Yeah, that's it. Gary.
Yeah,
thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Gary
look,
Leland,
yeah, he gets it, right? And I'm sure there's a lot of other older Bitcoiners that aren't on Twitter or whatever, and they understand what's going on. But it's kind of a sad thought to say, obviously we all know that everything's messed up with the monetary system, but sometimes these things can take longer to play out than we expected that they might. And it's a shame that some of these people might. I really hope that they do, but some of these people might not be around to see what they know is going to happen play out. But yeah, I think for the Zoomers out there, there's multiple people on Twitter. I'm far from the only one that is around my age group and is interested in Bitcoin. And I think that's really bullish because when the boomers are out of the scene and we're taking the keys from them, we all are huge Bitcoin bulls, and we understand the importance of having sound money, and we understand the digital scarcity and all these different kinds of things, right? So I think this is very bullish for humanity. Whenever the younger generation takes the keys from the boomers that, the gold bugs, a lot of these people that are just caught up in the old ways of the way things are. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say there.
When they inherit, that money goes from that gold is being sold, and those other things, and that value is going towards Bitcoin when it's younger people taking over. But by the way, William, I don't think that that Gary and his likes are gonna miss it. I think Bitcoin will take over as money of the world this decade, and as you said, the next cycle could be very likely. The reason I think next cycle is the one that's going to knock it out of the ballpark, and that Bitcoin ball is just going to go escape velocity, get out of gravity, is when Bitcoin hits, which it would with a stock to flow expectation on what the price could be, and just generic like looking at how bull runs have been passed and how they add, how many orders of magnitude we go above each time, then, a Bitcoin price of $2-3 million is likely to happen after the next halving. And when that happens, Bitcoin is such a big and more valuable money. Like it'll be 40% of all global money. And to me, if you get that far, that will, everyone will wake up and understand this is the future money of the world. Like there's no more anything saying that, it's just drugs, it's money laundry. It's I think it's going to be apparent, and then everyone and their aunt and their dog and their cat are going to sell everything they have. They're going to go to the ATMs, take out as much fiat currency that they can, while there's still someone dumb enough to accept it for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will just rocket ship. Puppy.
Yeah, listen, man. Well, your generation has been dealt the shittiest hand of all generations. Okay, so I'm excited that this will change things for you. Okay, this will change things for an entire generation. The boomers had it great, didn't they? Boomers had it fantastic. Don't get me wrong. You had Social Security set up for them as well. You had pension plans with companies, and I believe it started in the early '80s. The transition from company pension plans, where 80% of workers were basically covered under a pension. Their company would pay 80% of their salary in retirement, basically. And that transitioned down to 16%. I think now, I think it's 12%, that companies that have a pension plan, and everything has been put on the younger generation. Oh, you want to retire? Figure that shit out on your own. You have to be a Wall Street investor. Here's your 401k. Oh, by the way, we're going to take some ridiculous fees out of it, but here, figure this shit out on your own. And it's not a way forward. And Bitcoin, I love this, and I love the fact that this younger generation is going to just leapfrog the rest of us by getting in early, man. So that's all I got to say there.
Pubby, what were interest rates like when you were, I don't know, maybe I don't know if you would pay attention to that when you were like super young, but when you were in your 20s, 30s, what were interest rates looking like?
Hey, I'll tell you something, man. 1982. 1982. I remember my parents having a mortgage and that was a good deal. That was the mortgage rate. Or there was a book. There's a book called Your Money or Your Life. You should look this up, Your Money or Your Life. And it was a great idea for simple living. And this author had this premise of what kind of happiness are you getting from your purchases? Magazine subscriptions, anything you would. Back then, it was before internet, and you look at all the money we put into cell phones and internet and all that. But the book actually would have you go down, cancel all of this, find a way to lessen your rent, and you could go down and you could buy a T-bill at the time, okay, at like 12%. That's in the book. Take your money and you're getting guaranteed 12% interest. 12% guaranteed. But yeah,
it's crazy.
that was no, right. And slowly over the years, guess what? That shit just has gone away. That shit has gone away to you see at the bank, man, what 0.05% on it. Yeah, man.
I think that's the big thing more than the money printing is the interest rate manipulation, because the money printing is absolutely, very important. But I think in some regards, the interest rates being near to zero and not being able to, be manipulated down, pretty much any further at all. I think that's what's really important. I'll let you go, man, because I know I cut you off and you're going like this. So I know you got something to say.
No. I was agreeing with you. I just wanted to add to what you said. Like, it doesn't have further to go, and I just wanted to say, so the little bit extra they have to go now is that they started doing negative. I was speaking to Plan Marcus yesterday, and he was saying that now I think they got a letter in Holland that if you have over a certain amount of euro in your bank account, that will then have a negative interest rate. Imagine that. So, but I want to also just tell you about, well, Pubby and I, we're not very far from each other. He's 35, I'm 34, so we're quite similar, obviously.
Hey.
So when I was a kid, I remember, first of all, you didn't have a card for your you didn't have a debit card. You had a book, like a bank book, we called it. So in that, manually or from the machine would be written how much was on your account. So you go and deposit, something will be written on it. And also stocks. I bought my first stock when I was 12. You got a physical piece of paper, and then the coupon for the dividend was like a piece of the paper that you cut out. You went up and gave it to the bank, and they would put that money in your book or give it to you cash. But yeah, it was a different time. And Ray Dalio, as he explains, with the long-term debt cycle, and you have all the small cycles, but until a global reserve, from the beginning of a global reserve currency until it is wiped out of existence as global reserve, in general, leverage is taken on, interest rate is dropping, and more loan and debt is taken on, and that's why we now came to the end with this, as you say, 0% interest rate, a negative interest rate, extreme amounts of loans. And I want to ask you about, because you spoke about this with the interest rate that it used to be higher, and when I had money in the bank when I was a kid, it was worth it because I got a return that was higher than inflation, supposedly. Now it's nothing. So we've spoken a lot about this on this channel. The repricing of assets when Bitcoin takes over as money, and we go away from this artificial 0%, and we go to like maybe 15-20%, which is the free market interest rate right now in Bitcoin, which will take over when Bitcoin becomes money of the world. Stocks and real estate, Pubby spoke about a mortgage in 17%. What's going to happen to those prices?
Yeah, I think, first of all, it's a really good point. But, as a rule of thumb, people can just think of it as, the valuation of assets is inversely correlated to interest rates, to the discount rate, right? And so we're at the point where we have these crazy valuations, but they can be justified by the fact that interest rates are pretty much at zero. But if you start to see the discount rate that investors are using go up, which of course in Bitcoin, which many argue that's the real true free and open market interest rate, and people are using that for valuing different assets, then you're going to see a huge drop in those assets. And I think that's, although Bitcoin, yes, it's going to suck away like the monetary premium from things like gold. I think one of the major things that not many people like to discuss is, or maybe they just don't care about, but the fact that the interest rates in Bitcoin are going to cause a huge repricing in assets. And that's not like something that I think is going to happen this year. Maybe like you said, when Bitcoin reaches that kind of, mass threshold in 4 or 5 years, when Bitcoin is, 30-40% of all the money supply in the world, and then I think that really comes into play. But it's not something that'll happen for a while. But that I think that is kind of the black hole effect of Bitcoin, because people are going to say, hey, why am I going to take on a bunch of risk and I can't get any return when I could just buy Bitcoin or, do these different interest, lend out my Bitcoin and get this huge amount of interest, essentially risk-free, which I think right now we have, the risk is the exchange that you're doing. I don't know, like the contango trade or the peer-to-peer lending that you're using. Things like Unchained Capital, which all these things are kind of, in my opinion, gravitating towards kind of a peer-to-peer lending market where there is no intermediary, there is no third party. You're just directly lending your Bitcoin to somebody, and you're locking it up in some kind of digital. I'm not going to throw the word smart contract out there because I know all the people that you can call me shit corner for saying that, but maybe some kind of Bitcoin based smart contract where it's being locked in between two parties without any kind of third party intermediary that's putting these parties together. And then if you spread that across, I don't know, let's say I'm lending $10, I spread that, I put $2 in five different peer-to-peer trades, right? Then I'm spreading my risk out even more. So I think it's going to gravitate to the point where it's really just completely risk-free.
Hey, I gotta bring up Missy in chat. Missy said, "How does Kid know so much?" Seriously, how do
how does
she said, yeah.
This is it, man.
Yeah.
So who's written that book?
Ray Dalio. I think.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think that's like the best book. If you want to understand stuff with macro, man, I was just digging through that for I don't know, weeks on end, and just picking that apart, taking notes. Like, dude, there's sticky notes through that whole thing. I think Ray Dalio understands, the macro environment more than anybody. And then also, I was just listening to a bunch of Preston Pish. Like, anybody who wants to understand the financial system works and monetary policy, all these things, listen to Preston, man. Like, Preston knows his shit.
By the way, man, when we see you in Miami, guess what, man? The Preston Pish pub crawl is going on. You may have to sit outside for a bit, but I'll get you your beer. You are coming on the Preston Pish pub crawl with us.
Throw it in a little styrofoam cup, man. I'll sit outside. Maybe I'll throw in like a little fake beard or something. You know what I'm saying? Because
no.
I'm looking a little peach fuzzy here, but
we'll bring a Sharpie or something. But we'll take care of you one way or another, William. Of course, everything legal, but we'll work something out. But yeah, huge shout out to Preston Pish. He's bringing so much knowledge about macro and investing. It's that. But regarding the interest rate market and peer-to-peer, and by the way, smart contracts already exist on Bitcoin. It's not something that only belongs to dirt coins. We all know which one. There is, and I keep telling Pubby this, but it demands a little bit of technical knowledge, some that I don't have, and that is you can get a return on your Bitcoin even without without giving over custody. And that is when you supply liquidity to the Lightning Network. You can actually earn yourself like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% from routing fees by providing liquidity. You don't even give up ownership or control of your Bitcoin, but it's not plug and play. You need to know what you're doing technically, and it's not for me. Do you know anything about that, William?
Yeah, man, to be honest, I don't. I know I didn't know it was that high. I thought it was like 1 or 2%, but honestly, that's news to me. I didn't realize it was that high, but I've heard, I think Preston did, I forget the guy's name from the Lightning Network, and they talked about this. God, I'm not so great with names here today, but
wait. Can we just take a moment to appreciate this? that he learned something from us instead of the other way around.
That's awesome, though, if that's true, because
that's the old guys win sometimes.
Toxic happy hour brings it.
But if you can lend through the Lightning Network, I mean, that's super bullish.
But the thing is, you don't lend it to anyone. You basically make it available in these channels. So when, for instance, someone like Strike needs to, and they're exploding in usage, and they need capacity in Lightning Network. So when payments need to be routed between Strike and different mobile wallets with Lightning Network, a lot of capital will be moving around. So you're not lending it to anyone. You're just providing it as liquidity, and you're getting that 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 satoshis per transaction, and it's a totally free market. Whoever provides lower and more stable channels, wins the transactions. So it's really great that this free market, and it's needed for people to apply capital to make Lightning Network work. So it's something we should all embrace. And I tried to get Alex Bosworth on, because apparently he's like the #1 genius in this area. The plebes held us out trying to convince him, but he never answered my Twitter reply trying to get him on Toxic Happy Hour.
Hey, shout out to Justin Cabral. I hope you pronounced your name right, because it is Ryan Gentry. That was the guy's name. He's from Lightning Labs, so that was the guy. But yeah, what you're saying is it's super bullish for Bitcoin, man.
Look, and actually, I listened to that, and he was the guy who said Alex Bosworth is like, he's now telling his colleagues at I think it's Lightning Labs, right, that he's making more money from like providing capacity to the Lightning Network than he is in his salary, and his salary is not low. He's like a top world-class specialist in Lightning Network, right? So it's pretty bullish. Pubby.
Oh, listen, yeah, I think we're working to try to have them on the show. Am I correct in that assessment? We talked about this.
Sorry, what you're saying that you're working on it?
No, having Ryan on the show. I thought we were talking about having him on the show.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm watching like a love story unfold here. Missing the chat is really looking for attention here. I believe she enjoys William's takes on life, and I think she just wants wants to meet William in person. So look, if we can be we can be the show for everyone. We'll talk not only Bitcoin, but hey, if we can play matchmaker, let's do it.
Hey, listen, William has a girlfriend. He told us on the first show. Am I right?
Oh,
see, you're gonna get me in trouble, Puppy. Come on now.
Puppy, you say I don't listen, I listen sometimes.
Yeah, I like this one. Kate Clement. So is it Clement or Clemente? I even forget that.
Look, I have blonde hair, but it's Italian. Yes, Clemente.
Clemente.
Come on, let's hear you say it, Puppy, as well.
You introduced him as Clement today, by the way, but it's Clemente.
Yeah, now I know. I didn't know. Clemente. So, and I just want to bring Wages to Freedom in from the chat here. He said, I've tried Strike, but it keeps having errors linking to my bank account. All right, that's not something to do with the Lightning Network, because I was gonna say I experimented a little bit with different Strike payments, and when the amount was big enough that like it didn't go through in the first time, so it did in the second time, and that's what I'm saying, that Strike will be demanding a lot of capacity from Lightning Network. So there, it's really about educating people about how to create liquidity, earn that return on the self-custody Bitcoin, and help Bitcoin scale as a payment network as well.
Hey, just to jump in quickly, MG Smith 4 in the chat as always has a great point. The sats diggers will be out in force in Miami. Be careful. So, William, I want you home by 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, I want you home because they're out there waiting for a young guy like you.
Copy that, man.
Am I the only one who noticed on Bitcoin Twitter a lot of these like young girls with not too much clothes are starting to pop up and having an interest in Bitcoin? Am I the only one seeing that, or?
It's absolutely fantastic. And this is, and Williams learned this. There's some things you can't learn in Glassnode. The only thing you can learn is from watching Bitcoin Twitter. Is when you have stupid fights. You have stupid memes. You know you're consolidating when you see shit like this. I love it. Yeah, everyone's going to hot chick memes, and it's funny the trolling because one guy's like, I just got 30 followers today. I think he only had 20 followers before. Yeah, you put some tits on the screen, man. You're in there.
I think you make a really good point, man. Like my mentions have been just terrible the last 2 weeks, and then the last couple of days as well. Like you can sense the frustration, right? And like the anger. People are like, why isn't Bitcoin pumping? Why isn't it pumping? You know, and people just are very quick to snap at every little thing. And like the morale is terrible. You know, when we start pumping, everybody loves each other. Everything's great. You know, everybody's very nice to each other. And then we're consolidating. And like you said, everybody, you know, you could just sense the frustration.
Hey, a shout out to Hodlanot. Wherever you are, you crazy fucker. I love you. But you like this. We had, I mean, it was early on. He had sent out a tweet I responded to. And this was like in 2018, probably June, July. I mean, we're down in the doldrums. We're just trying to figure out how low will it go. And I remember 2 years later, I retweeted it. And someone said to me, well, how come you only had like 4 likes on this tweet? That's a brilliant fucking tweet. And I said, well, you know why? Because all you bastards left Bitcoin Twitter. It was just a few of us left, man. It was a few of us left. We were we're holding hands. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through this, man. And that was what it was like.
Honestly, yeah, Bitcoin Twitter probably changed. I don't know. Was it after COVID or maybe even before that?
Yeah, but COVID really changed it.
I don't really remember even what it was like back then when we were like 20 people on Bitcoin Twitter, maybe 500 or I know it's a big difference, but it was a different quiet time, not too much response, but just the same guys hanging out there, posting the same bullish, like, you know, we're in a bear, but we believe in it, but we weren't many saying it. But we were there.
Hey, I wasn't technically smart enough to sell. I couldn't sell. I didn't know how to get it off the fucking exchange. So I became a hodler, and here we are.
I think when you look at like Plan B and Willie's Twitter, I mean, Willie's Twitter is up to like almost 500K. And even my Twitter is like, I've been like taken back by all the followers. Like I just am. Sometimes I'm in disbelief looking at it like, holy hell, like this many people. But I think it's just a huge sign that we're in a bull market, especially that retail is here, right?
Oh, listen, just for you, I'm going to change my avatar. It's just going to be a nice big pair of tits. So when your girlfriend starts scrolling through, all she sees are all these hot chicks.
Why are you going back and forth with this in the DM? What's going on here?
What's going on?
William, that graph you posted earlier today, should we take a look at that? I don't know if you want to share screen or if I should do it. You did it so well last time.
The MVRV?
The one called MVRV Z-score, the so-called market value, realized value adjusted for volatility, having been such a good top indicator, because is that how how much is it a reactive to the top, and how much is it possible to say something even before? All right.
Yeah. All right. Can you see?
Yep, we got it.
Okay. So this is MVRV. So we'll start off with this. This was created by this guy David Puel and Murad Mahmudov. I hope I pronounced his last name right. But
Yeah.
they both were in the hedge fund with Willy Woo. Really smart guys. Like they were two of the pioneers of on-chain. And so they developed actually originally the idea for this metric was created by Pierre Richard. And then it was put into the idea of realized value or realized cap was actually created by Nick Carter. And so then what Brad and David did was they took a ratio of that realized cap to the market cap, and then you get MVRV. So it's just a basic ratio of that. And so what we're looking at here is MVRV, but entity adjusted. So it's adjusted for, like we were talking about earlier, how Glassnode clusters together different addresses, and they can identify different entities. So it clusters the random, all the noise of the different addresses out into different entities and gives you a stronger signal of that. So let me zoom out. I'm on the 5-year chart. Here we go. Okay. So you can see it gives you these. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, but you can see these.
Yep.
Okay, you can see these bottoms that it times really well here, and then also you see these tops, which we'll get to the Z-score in a second, but that's better for timing the tops. But so realized cap, the way you can think about it is like when Roger Ver bought his Bitcoins at whatever it was, like $1, and he bought 100, let's just say he bought 100,000 Bitcoins for $1. So that would be, as we go on and the price of Bitcoin goes up, the price is getting bid up on the margin. So Roger's coins that he bought for $100,000 are now worth whatever, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. But so that's what we know as the market cap. But the realized cap is saying, okay, Roger bought 100,000 coins at $1. So that's $100,000 of realized cap. So it's the price of Bitcoin of the coins when they were last moved added together, if that makes sense. And so that's what that in a ratio to the regular market cap is MVRV. Now we get to the Z-score.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, man, go for it.
So basically, what pushes up this orange one is, as you say, if it's when the value of them when they last moved. So that was very low for his 100,000 coins. If that's what he bought, we don't know. We're guessing. And if a lot of those move recently, it shows that something that once had no value all of a sudden has a very high number because it went from $1 to move maybe at $20,000 it moved. So it shoots up when basically there's a lot of activity, right? Or, I mean,
before we even get to the MVRV Z-score, let's just look at realized cap, and then this is entity adjusted as well. So realized cap, we're still at $391 billion in realized cap, and realized price, it still hasn't crossed previous all-time highs. We're getting very close actually, but we're at 19,500. So we're very close. I think we're within like $200 based off of Coinbase prices. So when realized cap or realized price aren't going up, it means that people are still holding their coins. As realized cap goes up, that means that coins are moving more because as we said, it's valued off of when the coins last moved. So those 100,000 coins that Roger had at $1, that's $100,000 added to the realized cap. let's say those coins are sold at $10. So now all of a sudden, realized cap, it was added $1 million to realized cap because those coins last moved now at $10 instead of $1.
Yeah.
Is there anyone more irrelevant right now than Roger Ver? The big, yeah, it's absolutely amazing. You have a Dogecoin, an obvious joke of a coin, outperforming every other shitcoin in the space. For one, some people still hang their hat on Ethereum, but Bitcoin Cash is withering and dying on the vine. I find it hilarious. Jesus.
Yeah. Look, man, we're almost at 55K here.
Hey, that's what we do, man. That's what we do. We have great guests. We pump the price. Listen, buy before the show, sell after the show. Okay, that's Pubby advice.
So here we go. We're looking at the Z-score, and this is the MVRV that we just talked about. But an on-chain analyst named OnWonder, he actually went ghost. Like he quit Twitter and Medium, where a lot of his articles are. So they're all lost.
Murad? Is that,
no, right. Not Murad. It's another analyst named OnWonder.
So yeah, what's the? I'm seeing a bunch of rest in peace Murad shit. What's going on?
Oh, I don't know, to be honest. I think after he stopped tweeting after their fund blew up in the March crash because they had a lot of their positions on BitMEX, and BitMEX went down during the crash, and they weren't able to offload their positions, and so they lost a lot of money.
Jesus.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Murad's a genius. That just goes to show if something like that can happen to him. If you think you're smart enough to time the markets, you're kidding yourself, right?
Apparently, he's not a genius. You know what? I'm dumb enough to start a podcast with some crazy Danish guy, and just buy Bitcoin.
Wearing a pink scarf.
Wearing a pink scarf. Hey, I got a great idea. Let's start a podcast. Sounds good to me. Here we are.
When did you guys start the pod? Was it like a year or two ago?
August. No, it's about 6-7 months ago.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. I know. We don't have a discerning fan base. They just sort of like.
So, William, you keep commenting on the effects of the scarf pump. This is obviously the scarf tango, as Visnok. So if we have a look at this, this is 15 minutes candles. If you go back 5-6 candles, that's actually when the show started. I'm not kidding.
That's what I'm saying. Like literally at 8 o'clock. That was literally the bottom.
Yep. So if you need to do a daily stack or weekly stack, you do it when Toxic Happy Hour goes live. That's it. Around that candle that has number 2 on it, that's when the show started. What can I say? William, did you have another graph you wanted to show us, or I just removed your?
Oh yeah, hold on one sec. Do I need to resend it? I was just going to show the
No. I still got it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting for William. He's just going to show up. Hey guys, they hacked your bank accounts. Here's your credit card numbers.
I bought Bitcoin with it. All right, can you see?
Oh yes.
Yeah, we got you. We got your screen share.
All right, cool. So this is the market value to realized value ratio, and it's got a Z-score on it, which was created by OnWonder. But what he basically did is Z-score is just this term for adjusting something for the standard deviation, aka the volatility. And so you can get a more accurate signal from it by adjusting it for the volatility. And you can see, once again, we get these really accurate bottom in this green band here, these really accurate bottom catches even in March, right? Each of these are like really good buy zones for you to just buy and I mean, when you buy in these zones and then they also line up with other indicators that are saying it's the bottom, just based off of statistics, right? That's a time where you can, I wouldn't recommend this, but for any kind of trading firm or like quant firm, that's when they'll probably go, 2-3x long, because historically the price isn't going to go down, another. If you're at 2x long, then price has to go down 50% for you to get liquidated. And if we're at one of these bottoms that multiple indicators are saying you're at a bottom, that's just statistically us going down another 50% is very, very, very low. So that's when you can take a little bit more of a riskier position, not go 100x on BitMEX, but you can go 2-3x, right? If you go 3x, then price has to go down 33% for you to get liquidated. If you go 4x, price has to go down 25%, 5x, 20%, right? So it's up to your risk tolerance, but you can definitely take a riskier buy when you get into these accumulation zones. And then when you look up here, it also provides very accurate top signals. When we get over this overheated band here in the red, and we're not even near that, right? When I'll zoom in, we just completely dropped off a cliff when we're looking at Z-score, right? And that's super bullish, because that's saying we have a whole lot more room to run from here.
Absolutely, and seeing it that it has gone down the last 3 months. What does that tell you, William? Does that mean that it's going to be more sideways trading? This may be a leading question, or does that mean the spring sort of is pulled back and ready to snap higher?
Yeah, that's exactly the way I look at it, that we're just consolidating. We're just in this huge consolidation band. A lot of the trading, all the coins, you can see the age in the coins that are selling, and all the coins that are selling are predominantly younger coins. So there's this huge trend of younger coins selling to into strong hands, aka the older coins that are more experienced. Yeah, they're saying thank you very much. I'll take that.
Yeah,
okay, you got shaken out, and these corrections that these more experienced market participants know just are very much part of the way Bitcoin operates. They're just saying, all right, give me that. Thank you. You don't understand what's going on here. And the weak hands continually get shaken out. So I just think we're in this huge consolidation band.
Okay, and tell me again, William, this C level that you were showing before that very clearly hit the tops. What exactly, again, is it an indication of? And is that something that comes out daily? And we'll be able to see that now we reach that number that usually is, happens in the top of the bull runs, the FOMO peaks.
Yeah, so if you think of it like, let's say market cap is at $100, and then the realized cap is at $25, you have a ratio of 4. But as older coins are being sold off into newer market participants, at the end of the cycles, we see retail come in and buy coins from longer term holders, then that realized cap is going up. So then you see, the ratio will go, let's say, it goes up to $50 for the realized cap, and market cap is still at $100. Well, now instead of a ratio of 4, you have a ratio of 2. So that's why you see these huge spikes, in that the ratio gets smaller as the realized cap is going up, aka the longer term holders, or you can also think of it as smart money, are selling their bags into strength, and retail is coming in at the very end of the cycle and FOMOing in.
All right. Sounds good to me. I'm going to be rewatching these 10 minutes probably a few times. Pubby, how do you feel about that?
I don't even know what to say, man. Not really paying attention. I'm in the chat a bit. No, seriously, though. Man, the spirit, our show is sometimes about the numbers. When you have William that can come in with the glass node numbers and the charts, That is fantastic. But I also love the fact that we can bring in the spirit, the Bitcoin geist, if you will, and what you see on Twitter, what you see in the space. Everyone is foaming at the mouth. Everyone is just getting ready for the next movement. I remember the spirit at the time, early 2018. No one knew what the hell was going on. When you look at this space 3 years on, the amount of education available for people is off the charts. The way you can learn, it was never available before. So I think this is fantastic for Bitcoin. I'm just honestly waiting. I'm shit posting on Twitter. I'm making up stupid memes. You got people that are just putting out, "Hey, girls in bikinis," which is true, man. They'll get a lot of likes. The guys put out a girl in bikini, get a lot of likes. This is Bitcoin, man. This is the Bitcoin ethos in a way. It really is. This is what we do. We look ridiculous wearing a scarf. We look ridiculous doing what we do. But guess what? The truth is sometimes ridiculous, and I love it. Bitcoin, we're going to explode here, man. We're going to explode here in the next few months, man. And
that's the thing about like the laser eyes, right? Everybody's that's a huge top signal. The market doesn't give a fuck what people on Twitter are doing, right? And that's the whole point. And people don't understand that. Like the people that aren't in Bitcoin, the whole point of the laser eyes is saying we're gonna look goofy and we're gonna do this stupid thing and the price is still gonna go up because we understand that it's gonna go up based off of the math that's built into the protocol. So and there's nothing you can do about it. And so that was the whole point of the laser eyes is we're in people's face like, yeah, we look stupid. And yeah, in any normal like market, that would be a huge signal of, emotional exuberance and overconfidence in the asset that you're holding, but we understand what's going on in these cycles and these huge increases we have, and so I think that's what makes it fun. Is we're basically talking to the regular people and saying, hey, you know what? Like we're looking goofy. Price is still going to go up, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Totally agree, man. That's why I love like with Jack Mallers in the hoodie, us in the scarf. It doesn't matter what you look like, where you come from, what is your background. Listen, you buy Bitcoin, you are outside the system. You have a better system now. You have a system that cannot be controlled by anyone else. And I found that early on as being absolutely the most beautiful thing about Bitcoin.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, man. And it's great to see. I think over the next few years, we see a lot of fundamental shifts in Bitcoin, but there will be a lot of hate from people that haven't been in Bitcoin because at least subconsciously, when you see this thing going up like a rocket ship and you're not on board, you justify that to yourself with all these different things. Oh, it's bad, the energy, right? And all these different things. And you try to find ways to justify to yourself why you didn't buy it earlier and that you made the right decision. And the real people that the real critical thinkers are the people that will come out and say, hey, I was wrong about Bitcoin, right? And I'm coming out and saying I was wrong, and I understand now what it is. And the people that are humble enough to say that they're wrong, like I think there's a lot of people in the world that aren't willing to say that they're wrong. Like, dude, I made multiple calls over the last month or two when I was like, I called the bottom. God forbid, dude, my mentions got destroyed after that because we went further, like $1,000 further, and I am never calling a short-term bottom again. But I admitted I was wrong, right? Like that's how you move on. Is like if you don't, you have to admit that you're wrong. And there's a lot of people that in regards to adopting Bitcoin, like that was just like the way I relate it personally. But there's a lot of people that are going to try to find different ways to justify themselves, and that's great, because the people that are going to have spending power appreciation and that are able to allocate capital when we get to the other side of this thing are going to be critical thinkers, independent thinkers, and they're also going to be those people that are humble enough to say that they were wrong and got in on this thing when we're still so early, right? People think they missed the train. People thought they missed the train at $10, at $100, at $1,000, $10,000. They're going to think they missed the train when we get to 100K. And you didn't even miss the train when we get to $1 million. You didn't miss the train when we got to $10 million, right? I think when you get there, the rate of return is going to decrease, but you still have the opportunity to preserve your spending power when we get to that point. And those people that are hanging on, right? It's like the Titanic sinking, and the people that are hanging on for dear life, they're going to go down with the ship, and that's great because they're not going to have any spending power appreciation, and theirs is going to get destroyed when we go through this shift. And I think that's super bullish.
What you're talking about reminds me, and I pulled him up here, man. Everyone should follow him. Ed Vanderbilt. Ed Vanderbilt. I think let me see where he works.
Can
you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Ed Vanderbilt. He's actually fantastic. I think he was writing for Bloomberg, but like you were talking about, he took a position of a wait and see. He knew about Bitcoin early on. I think he learned about it in 2012 or 13. But he took a position of, guess what? I'll wait and see. I don't believe in it now. But he had that open mind. He had that open mind. And that's what he did. So he went through, probably 6 years of waiting. Now he agrees. He has seen what the demand has been, and he now believes in it. So you're right.
And that's the thing. Go ahead, man.
No, I just interrupting or stopping William from talking is I think that's bad. That's wrong. So William, I'll say something after you. Please go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that not everybody. If you're talking to people and trying to orange pill them, I think you just need to get them off zero. If they have 0.5% in their portfolio, they'll see what happens with the Bitcoin over the long, over the coming months and years that they hold it. And, as they hold it, they'll probably be more apt to educate themselves on what it is they're holding. But as long as they're off zero, right? Because if you put $1 into Bitcoin and the other 99 into cash over any 5-year period, that $1 becomes worth more than that other 99. So it's like, as long as you take a very small hedge against the possibility of its success, then that's all at the end of the day I think we really need to be doing at the minimum. But go ahead, man, my fault.
Yeah. So I totally agree with that. I mean, at least if you put $1 into Bitcoin, you preserve the buying power of that $1. We just happen to be so early that not only will you preserve the buying power, you're likely to increase it 400x. My target is 20 million this decade. So so there's not only can you preserve, there's also an upside. There was something you said earlier, William, about the type of people getting into Bitcoin, and even though critical thinkers you were talking about and willing to admit that they were wrong and seeing something here and open to that. And there's one saying I really like in Bitcoin that I've heard, which is a little bit funny as well, which is people get into Bitcoin when they deserve to. What do you think about that, William?
Yeah, you're talking about people buy Bitcoin at the price they deserve. I agree.
Could you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's the moment that people humble themselves and question their assumptions, and the rate of which you're able to do that, aka how soon that you buy in. I think that's very valid. And the earlier people are going to be more open-minded, and that's super bullish.
And I guess also it's I don't know if you call it what to call it. I read something on Twitter yesterday that I thought was interesting. It's survival of, like, financial survival of the fittest, sort of, that is coming into play, where you're moving wealth towards people that, as you're saying, are critical thinkers and open-minded, and we're able to see that we have problems in the current monetary system, and we're able to see that Bitcoin as sound money is that solution to that problem. So it's yeah. But these are good people. I feel like Bitcoiners in general that we meet, and I think all of us agree to that, are good people with good intentions, that wants the best for the world, wants the best for humanity, and can see that Bitcoin can answer really so many of those problems that people today don't understand stem from central bank dilution of currency and dilution of people's savings. What do you think, Puppy?
That's a lot on the chain there to say. No, in a way, I mean, it's a lot. The best thing, when I look forward to this, as a philosophy, guess what? There's nothing better. There's nothing more true than Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't. You can't fuck with it. It's so true. And here's the great thing for guys that are, if you're into math, when you realize that this thing, guess what? It keeps pumping. Do you know why? Because it's based off an algorithm. It's based off a system of math going forward. We are so disconnected from what math is, and we hate to admit it's right. Well, guess what? Sometimes the truth is right. When you look at Bitcoin, you can't print it. You can't make more of it. You can't manipulate it like we do with our U.S. dollar. We've been off a gold standard for 50 years. We are so screwed. My generation, we don't understand how can something like stock to flow be true. How can it be true? That's impossible. Do you know why it's impossible to us? Because the money supply has been manipulated for that many years, and now we find this beautiful, glorious thing called Bitcoin.
Guys, I just want to check in with William, especially you. Like, how much time do we have here?
I can go all night, man. Whatever.
I knew it. Awesome. How about you, William? I mean, personally, I am like finalizing some travel plans. I expect to be traveling within 48 hours, maybe 40 hours, and I need to like finalize my ticket things there. But so glad to have this break in. It's been hectic last 10 days for me. It was so great to come here and have this conversation. But I mean, we could go on a little bit longer, Will, if you can. What's your situation?
Yeah, no, I'm down for whatever. You guys just let me know. I don't have anything to do, so.
Awesome.
Hey,
what about the books?
No, let me tell you about his situation. I'm 19. I'm going to Miami. 19, going to Miami, baby. He's good to go. Have a good time.
Yeah.
Well, of course, within certain parameters.
How's the studying going, William Clemente?
Yeah, it's going pretty good, man. I finished my last final like 3 days ago. It was pretty brutal, my philosophy, but I'm ready. I'm full time now. You know, I told you I done with Target and I'm done with school, so just you know, pretty much just obviously I'm doing other stuff, but most of my free time I'm just looking at Glassnode, doing what I like doing. So that it's whatever, you know. I hope I'm able to push out some more quality content for everybody, but I'm definitely going to be able to do more than I have been over the last few months because I've been like super ramped up with school. So it's great to kind of have like those chains set free. Yeah.
Your Twitter account did not look like you were busy with something else. It looked like you were pretty much full-time studying Unchained. Jesus, unbelievable. I can't believe you've been busy with school. I really can't. But wait, if you're a sophomore now, don't you have more to go of uni before you're done? Or like, how come you can be full-time now?
Yeah, so we'll see how this goes over the summer, but I think there's a low likelihood that I end up going back next semester.
Awesome.
Because
Listen,
what I'm doing. Go ahead, Pubby.
Oh, I was going to say, listen, some people are more brilliant than they should be for school or university. This is one of the guys, man. Fucking leave it. Get out there in the world, man. Get out there in the world.
Look, and like I don't think I'm necessarily smarter than a lot of people. It's just that this thing that the Unchained stuff, there's no formal education for it. So it's one of those things where there's a demand, like we're in this informational age where there's a demand for things that when you're self-taught, and like I think of it almost like computer science, like way back in the day, right? Before it was cool, right? Before there were computer science degrees, you had to like it was really nerdy people that just had a passion for computers and were just sitting there on the computer banging away all day, messing around and like getting self-taught. And I look at not on the same level, like it's kind of comparing apples to oranges, but just in the sense of that there's no formal education. So I think things like this, and not only just the on-chain, but a lot of things in Bitcoin are going to be highly valued in the next 10 to 15 years as Bitcoin becomes the predominant form of money, just because there is no formal education, and those people that have listened to hours of podcasts, dug through YouTube and listened to all these different YouTube videos and read articles online. I mean, all this stuff is free, like it's crazy. The amount of stuff that you can just go on YouTube now, you can just type in something and learn anything you want. Like I think we're in this age now where your only limitation is yourself. Like if you don't, if you're saying that you can't do something or you can't learn something, like you're kidding yourself. You can go on YouTube and learn anything. You can learn a foreign language for free. You can learn any skill for free, right? You're basically just limited by your own laziness because it's all out there on the internet. And like we're privileged to do that, right? Like generations and generations ago would have loved to have these opportunities. Like look, like my family, they came over on a boat from Italy, right? And it's like they had to struggle to put money together and stuff. I'm like, they busted their ass. I'm sure if they had a computer in front of them, they would have been, they would have gone crazy with it, because that when you apply that work ethic to the amount of information you could absorb, like there's no time to be sleeping, man. Like the information is out there. There's never ending information out there to learn.
Listen, your parents, of course, gave you the intelligence you have right now, but you're absolutely right. Pubby is old. Pubby is old, and I remember having literally the Encyclopedia Britannica set, and you were told by the school you must write a report upon the subject. Well, fuck, you just grab a book and you look up the subject, and you had to go to the library and find your sources, and you had to handwrite shit. So yeah, you're right. It's only pure laziness. If you can't educate yourself about something you want to do in life, it's pure laziness to me.
Yeah, it's and a lot of people who has the sailor.org and you lost. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we got you now.
Okay. Where he has free education, and the concept really is that now within. Can you hear me? Okay, I gotta work on this, my new location, my internet connectivity. I promise to get it better for next time. However, I will probably be in Europe a few days from now. But yeah, now on the internet, all the knowledge is freely available. And I'm not saying that you can become a doctor, because maybe you need to like actually have hands-on certain things. There might be some studies that demand that you come together and you do something with your hands. But otherwise, for many things you can study, it's the best information is already out there on the internet, and there's now more and more different organizations that help provide that. I believe Sailor.org is where people can actually get a college degree for free. And they're right now, as I understand, working on getting that certified. So yeah, there is an alternative to spending 500,000 or whatever it costs to get a college degree.
And you know, I'm gonna say this, and I just want to preface this, like I'm not trying to emphasize the fact that I was talking to these people, but just a point of what I got out of the conversation. So last week I had the privilege of one of the offers I had was from Skybridge Capital, Anthony Scaramucci's Skybridge Capital, and I was talking with them. I had the privilege to talk with them, and they were saying, "Look, we don't care about your degree." I was talking to this guy. He's like, "Look, I went to Harvard Law School with Anthony, and we both graduated, you know, with these fancy degrees. We don't care, right? Like we'll just go on Twitter. Here we are talking to a 19-year-old kid, right? And I'm not trying to emphasize this to talk like up talk myself, but I'm just saying like you can do anything if you through the internet now. Like all those credentials that existed in the fiat world, they're just completely irrelevant. These people don't care, right? Like Elon Musk has said a couple months ago, like he literally said, "I don't care about your MBA is worthless to me." Like it doesn't matter anymore. What matters now is like real experience, and you can prove yourself through mediums such as Twitter. Like sure, like not Twitter isn't for everybody, and I'm not saying like everybody needs to put their full time into Twitter, but a platform such as Twitter, if you just start putting out different, you know, bits of information and you try to provide value in any sort, like not just from the data stuff, but you start writing articles or I don't know, whatever interests you, man. Like you go on YouTube and you're interested in boxing or basketball and you start a basketball podcast, right? It's like if you're providing value in the free market and like the internet is a free market, right? Like there's no way to fake the viewers. Like if the market, aka the viewers on YouTube, that the pool of viewers find value in what you're doing, then they're going to come. If not, then you need to switch up what you're doing, adjust it, or maybe find something else. But it's like the internet is such a perfect way to promote yourself, and it's all free. Like it's free to make a Twitter account, it's free to make a YouTube account, and you can, if the free market determines that what you're doing provides value, you'll be rewarded for that, and it'll be recognized. And everybody should just, you know, if you're interested in something, just throw it out there. Like throw your ideas out there, see if people like it. You know, like stick to it, dude. I remember I had like 100 followers for weeks on end. Like I was going through, I just took a look at my like the Twitter engagement thing, and my followers are really just like it's been like the last 3 months. Like I was looking at in December, I had like 100 new followers, and I had like my most liked post was like 40 likes, you know, and I was just interested in this stuff. I just kept putting it out. I'm sure there's a bunch of other people. I just can't speak for anybody else, but if you just consistently just keep sticking at something that you like, the internet eventually will recognize that, and the free market, which are the users of the internet, will recognize that value, and you'll be rewarded for that. And especially with Bitcoin, there's so many opportunities in Bitcoin.
So will you be buying Bitcoin with the money you save on college now, or will your parents be buying Bitcoin?
Yeah, to be honest, man, I have like 98% of my money into Bitcoin. Like I need to have a little bit.
Bear.
Yeah, people say if you don't have a minimum of 100, you're a bear.
Hey, says the man. Listen, Peter McCormick, if you're watching, I know you are, to get lessons. You still owe my boy Anders here. Pay off some debt. I'll leave it there. But you're absolutely right when it comes to this. Moving forward is going to be so interesting for people in this space from different financial institutions. they'll finally get it, or they'll have to get it. It's not that they want to. There's nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
There's
It's like
nowhere
when
else
the
to
money
go.
starts going out of their door, right? Like this is the thing for the
Yeah.
banks. Everybody wants to talk about like the network effects and all this garbage, right? What's really important for these banks, they don't really care about any of that. They might say they
Of
do,
course.
but it's when they see the money coming out of the door. Like, look, they probably have all these data analytical things tracking all the flows of money coming in and out of their firm, and they know that money is coming out. Maybe not into like spot Bitcoin, but all these different Bitcoin products and financial products. And they realize that. And they're all saying, oh shit, like I need to, all this money is coming out of the door. I need to put a plug on this thing and keep that money in, right? I need to build this financial product myself, because if I don't, the guy next door is going to do it and all the money's going to flow over there.
That is the thing that's going to fuck this whole system up in a great way. It's everyone's going to have to jump in, because guess what Elon Musk started. For anyone that is on the big tech side, the CEO CFO is going to see, well, fuck, Elon Musk is here, but it's everyone else. I'm crazy to watch happen, because guess what? You have to have a bit of Bitcoin. You get 1%, 5%. I don't care. Everyone's got to come in with this. And if our boy got daddy Greg Foss, man, Greg Foss here on Thursday, if he's correct, and we have 900 trillion of asset out there, guess what's going to happen, man? 5% of that, the price will melt your face.
Oh yeah, I think there's a point, man, where, well, first of all, I just want before, like what we were saying, I think J.P. Morgan was the big one, and I was like, wow, like they know that money's flowing out, especially when they were talking about, you know, how Jamie Dimon was saying, if anybody trades Bitcoin, they're gonna get fired under my watch, or whatever. But I think Foss is completely right. Like where he really nails on the head for me in terms of the price action is when he's talking about if some major central bank, right, and comes out and says, yeah, we took a position in Bitcoin, like the price is going to go up like at least 50% in a day. Like the price is just going to gap up. I think this is where he got the nickname the Gap Daddy Foss, but it's so true, man. Like, and the risk is not having Bitcoin in that moment. Like when that time comes, we're going to gap. Like Bitcoin has this history of just like teleporting up and building up a new base of capital and never coming back. Like we saw that at 20K. Everybody thought we were going to come back and retest 20K, but we blew through 20K to like 25K and never came back and retested it, because all these new buyers stepped in after the all-time high event. It'll be a similar event with if the central bank takes a position, but like on a much, much larger scale. I think we'll just see this huge, and like it sounds ridiculous, but I really do think we'll just teleport up in a matter of days if something like that happens, because that's just going to be such a fundamental shift in the thinking about Bitcoin and its credibility. I don't know if, you know, let's say North Korea or something, because it seems like the earlier adopters will probably be countries that don't have a lot of hoops to jump through. In the same way on a corporate level that Michael Saylor was able to buy Bitcoin, he didn't have a whole board that he needed. He has the majority of the voting rights. And, you know, he said, look, if you're not on board with this, I'll buy you out. I'm doing this regardless. But he was able to do that because he had the majority of the voting rights. So it's the same thing on the country level. If you have these small nation states like North Korea, right, the dictator can just say, hey, I don't care what anybody else says. I decided we're waking up and buying Bitcoin today, right? That's it. That's the end of the conversation. Like there is no voting or anything. That's it. And so I would suspect those countries probably to be the early adopters, but I don't know if that necessarily would have a big impact. But if you see like a European country or like you know someone in the EU, it's over.
So it's something I've talked to Anders about. You know, this entire show started because we just talk bullshit on the phone all the time. But I will tell you this. Here's what's going to be interesting. Even from biblical terms, the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. What you're going to see a transition of countries changing because some are stuck in their old ways. America right now, America is the blockbuster. America is a blockbuster. But what the hell? What I'm thinking, Nigeria, to me, guess what? That's the Netflix of what's coming up. So we're going to have a change in the movement of capital and money that no one has ever seen before. Anders, go.
Yeah, beautiful words from Pubby. William, you can clearly see why Pubby's been my friend for years now. He brings some depth and some width to the conversation. Love it, Pubby. And yeah, I think you're right, Pubby, that some of these countries, or was it you said it, William, where the decision making is not democracy necessarily, but it is a one-person decision. There, for instance, in the Middle East, there's a lot of countries where, shall we put it this way, where the president or the person in charge takes the decision. So we'll see some of that, and once we start getting announcements on a state level, it could be a Gap Daddy Foss time, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like he said this on your show, but the real risk is not owning Bitcoin. It's not. If you have 0% Bitcoin allocation, it's a lot riskier than having 99% Bitcoin allocation.
Absolutely. Like the example you said before, if you have $100 and you put $1 into okay, can you hear me? So if whatever. If you have $1 allocation, if you out of $100, and that potential of Bitcoin actually takes place, that's a huge increase in your wealth, even though you only put in 1%. So as you say, and I agree, it's very risky to choose to ignore and be outside of the best performing the asset the world has ever known. And it's done it in the last 12 years. And now you think it's going to stop. There's no bubbles that took 12 years. 12 years, that's a trend. That is disruption of a market.
Yeah, 100%. I don't have anything to add to that.
What he's trying to say, Anders, is there's no comeback. What do you say to that? It's absolutely true. It's absolutely brilliant, beautiful. This is why we're in Bitcoin. What the hell can you say? Bitcoin is now in the mainstream. It's in the mainstream. And when I say that, I mean that in the minds of everyone. And they will try to push it down. The price, of course, buy Bitcoin, hold Bitcoin. That's all I can say.
So see, wait, hold on, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a question there from the chat.
That's Bitcoin, and that's the financial system.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, what's going on here?
Bitcoin is standing.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali. He's standing over the guy after he knocked him out.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually beautiful.
Yeah.
Flows. What is it? Dances or flows like a butterfly, stings like a bee.
This is my other one. Hold up. To the moon is the astronaut.
Wait, I'm gonna give you full screen for a second so we can probably see here.
Yeah.
To the moon and back. Nice.
Hey, did we land on the moon, or was that a propaganda technique? No. Hey, all conversations open here. What do you think? Hey, William.
I don't have a strong opinion, man. But if we're just gonna get controversial,
no, I'm just asking. I don't know.
I'll say. I think no, because I think just to mix it up.
I'm not going to get controversial, but I'm going to say no. We didn't land on the fucking moon. I love it.
You don't think so, Pubby?
I don't know. I have no clue, man.
But so what do you guys think about? Are we gonna land on Mars within the next, let's just say this century? So you got plenty of time. It's not about, if when SpaceX will be ready. Like, do you guys think we're gonna go to Mars with people this century?
Yeah, I think Elon's taking us there.
Oh, hey, you guys want to hear
the rate of technology growing is just so fast. The stuff that I think I'm going to see in my lifetime is just like incomprehensible.
Yeah, good luck. No, I joke about it, but I will tell you this. I believe in, Plato, whatever you want to, however you pronounce it. I think he was sort of right. He wrote about Atlantis. So I don't know if you guys believe Atlantis ever existed or not. Anders?
Of course it did.
Thank you.
I say yes.
Of course it did. But you know what happened? We outkicked our coverage. We outkicked our coverage to the point of, yes, technology went so much forward, we could not keep up with it. I believe it happened one time. It's called Atlantis. And we had to learn again. And here we are now. Bitcoin may be the thing.
Pubby, I'm sorry to switch up the conversation, completely switch it, but this guy asked the question 3 times. Can we talk about NVT and where we think the fundamental floor is based off the model? So if you don't mind, I just want to answer his question.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what we hear.
Sweet. So NVT is it's the original on-chain metric that was created by Willy Woo. So you can basically think of it as kind of a PE ratio in the sense that it's trying to estimate a fair value for the market based off of the capital that's flowing through it. So it's a ratio of the network value. I'm sorry, the market cap to the value transacted on chain, right? Like the on-chain transactional volume. So not like on an exchange or anything, but the actual volume of Bitcoins that are traded, that are transferred on the Bitcoin blockchain itself. Do you mind if I share screen real quick?
We will never mind. You don't have to ask that question again.
All right, I got it up.
This is what we're here for, William. Dr. Bullrun. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, can you see?
Wait, so I got to just, yep, I got to bring it in. There we go.
Okay, cool.
She said.
So you see when this is another kind of indicator for the tops. You see top here, top here, top here, top here, top here. Not full top, but we had a this is when we spiked up here. But so when NVT goes up, it means that the market cap is growing faster than the actual transactional volume on the blockchain is supporting it. So when we get to the end of the bull run, people get really complacent. They stop taking profits. People stop moving coins on chain, and you just get into this really this state of like irrational exuberance, right? And so the fundamental investor activity stops supporting the price going up. And so NVT spikes like this are pretty bearish. But when we zoom in here, NVT has actually been going down since January, like steadily going down. And so what that means is that the underlying investor activity is going up. Like just think of it as like kinetic energy, right? Like the particles inside of something are moving faster and faster and faster. It's building up more energy, right? And that's the way I kind of look at NVT. But the price isn't following that yet. the market cap isn't growing at the rate to keep up with the investor activity. Therefore, NVT is falling. And so this is actually really bullish. And then I'll pull up. If we go to Willie's website, this is Woo Bull. Can you guys see that? I don't know if it'll still show it when I change the websites. You can still see.
Yeah, we got your screen. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so this is NVT price. So it's proprietary how he calculates this, but he runs some moving average over it to calculate this NVT price. And so right now, the NVT price is 53K. So the fair value of Bitcoin based off of investor activity is 53,000, which is another reason why I was saying at the beginning why I don't think that we go below 50K based off of the fundamental investor activity and like the capital flows on the blockchain, because we just dipped below it. We only had 3 dips below the NVT line, the NVT price in 2017, and we just had a dip when we had that last week. We dipped below it by $900. Like this thing is like really accurate, and so we're hovering right back on that above that floor right now. Like we're within a let me see. Well, we just pumped since we started recording, of course, but throughout the day we've come pretty close to that price. So I don't see us going below 50K again. And then also this is the NVT premium. So all this is it's just taking a ratio of, let me zoom in, of how overheated the price is from that fundamental NVT floor. And so in a bull market, the NVT premium never goes above 33%. So like the price never goes above 33% of what the NVT price is signaling. And so like up here, we got really overheated, but we're still super underheated from those levels. And like here again, we saw that dip below. So I think we're getting ready to really rip here. And that's just another indicator where, we're very underheated. We're not anywhere near, like when we dipped down in the last 2 weeks, all these strength indicators and all these things that are estimating, how overvalued Bitcoin is, they all got reset like completely. Things like the RSI, which is a technical indicator, but that's like the relative strength index on the daily time frame, that got reset to levels not seen since March of 2020. So like we have so much room to run. Whenever this thing snaps up, it's going to have so much room to run. It's going to be insane because all these indicators got reset completely.
I love that. If we can just get you in screen there, William. So what you're saying is we're really, really scraping the bottom price wise, and according to this NVT model, like we can't go lower. But on the flip side, there's like short-term room for 35% higher than where we are now.
Yeah, if the underlying investor activity doesn't change from here, right? So then, we could
and that might heat up because once that price starts moving, that's going to heat up. So we're looking, we're looking 50, 100% higher.
Exactly. Sure. I mean, it could be, but at least 33% from here. Like, not guaranteed that will happen, but that's feasible given how overheated the price can get from here. But like you said, that NVT price floor is steadily going up. Let me see, it's up $6,000 in the last week and a half. So like that's
is that good?
Yeah, that's good. That means like the organic floor under the price is going up.
That's a joke. It's a joke.
Oh, my bad.
Jesus, yes, of course it's good. Is that good? Yes.
Yeah, he understands that much, William.
Not much. Oh, more charts, baby. We need more charts. Yeah.
And I just want to comment. Who was it? Let me bring it back on the MG Smith 4. I threw the chat on the screen now. He noticed, and Puppy keeps doing this. He travels the world, but he packs his scarf. Now he's in Central America. That's his dedication to toxic happy hour right there. That's we mean business. We may not be paid, but we mean business.
Let me explain something to you, my friend. When you and I started talking about Bitcoin, we fell in love with each other. It's okay. We can announce it. We have. No, the point is this. Yeah, fuck. The scarf action works. So what, man? So
let's
back
check
over
in on that.
55K. 55, 150.
Let's check the scarf action again. I have to say, we started this toxic happy hour at that green candle bottom. In the bottom, the number 2 on top.
Yep.
And watch her go. Baby. So yeah, what can we say? The scarf tango pump is real. This is the scarf tango. And imagine if Clement was wearing an Italian scarf as well. We should get him that, Puppy. We need to get Clement an Italian scarf, whatever that is.
No, we need to get the toxic happy hour scarf.
Look, like half a year ago, we spoke about doing a toxic happy hour T-shirt, but here we are. All we're doing is having a drink and doing the show.
We're big talkers, aren't we? We're big talkers. Oh.
Yeah.
But it's awesome, man, because it's like, you know, when you're in person, there's not a lot of people that like Bitcoin. So it's so cool when you finally meet somebody like you guys, you know, like you click and you find somebody you both really get it, and you could just talk for hours and hours and hours about this stuff because you have all these thoughts all day long in your head. You know, you're all alone, not around other Bitcoin people, and you finally get around another person, and you're just diarrhea of the mouth. Just, you know, you talk for hours about it.
Yeah.
Listen, hey, I'll jump. Yeah, I don't know where he's going right now.
And I'm back.
You're absolutely I wanted to correct. You're absolutely. Hey, you use your privilege right now. You lose it, but you're absolutely correct. When you get to talk or meet people in person that have Bitcoin, lives are changed, man. Your life is literally changed. Okay, go ahead, Andrew.
I just want to say one word: Miami.
Oh yeah. That shit.
You guys went to Bitcoin 2019, right?
Too much Bitcoin.
I'm surprised.
It was like the price, and you can buy sats. You know, no, I passed on that one.
I think this one's gonna be 10 times better than what the 2019 one looked like. I saw they got rid of Chamath. They were gonna have Chamath speaking, but everyone was giving him a bunch of shit about him being the shit corner. But now he's out.
Yeah, man. What do you think? Do you like that? Agree with it, or I don't know.
Yeah. I don't have too much of an opinion. Like, I'm not one of these people where I absolutely hate people who invest in shitcoins. Like, I don't own any shitcoins. I'm not gonna promote shitcoins, but it's like I'm not gonna, you know, like go at you and just like, you know, come curse you out on Twitter because you're talking about shitcoins. Like, you do you. Over the long term, you know, the free market is gonna work itself out. We all know shitcoins are going to zero against Bitcoin, and you know, those people, you could try to help them out like nicely, right? And just say, hey, I'm trying to, you know, I'm looking out for you. Try to explain something. If they don't listen to you and they want to keep buying Dogecoin and all this other bullshit, just let them. I mean, it's whatever. Over the long term, the market will prove itself. So people freak out. I've seen like the last week, everyone's like, what do you think about the Ethereum dominance going up? You know, Bitcoin dominance is going down. I'm getting upset. I'm getting frustrated seeing all these other coins pump and Bitcoin's not pumping. It's like, dude, who cares? Like, just relax. Like, over the long term, like this isn't a like Bitcoiners all like to talk about how we're super low time preference, but like, granted, my Twitter mentions aren't speaking for all Bitcoin Twitter, but a lot of people are just so worried about the day-to-day price stuff. Like, it's cool to track, but don't like get emotionally invested in this coin is pumping. So like, we know what's going to happen over years and years and years. What does it really matter, if price goes down or other coins are pumping, because we know where they're going in the long term. So just let people do what they want, and the free market will work itself out.
Yeah, I loved. I saw you wrote that on Twitter earlier, William. As you know, I have notifications on your tweets, so I see everything you do, everything you write.
Appreciate it.
And yeah, it's the market will work itself out. So we're just trying to help people, and that's what we're doing as toxic maximalists. We're just trying to help people, really. And you mentioned about people are. As well, you mentioned Ethereum, and people are screaming Ethereum is at an all-time high, but that's only if you use a faulty unit of account like the US dollar, where they create 40% more of it on a yearly basis. You can't use that as a unit of account, and Pubby knows this. He keeps tweeting the graph out. The price of Bitcoin the price of Ethereum denominated in Bitcoin, the high point was 0.12 Bitcoin for one Ethereum, and that's now down to 0.06. So you now need twice as many Ethereum for the price to buy one Bitcoin. In other words, it's only half of its all-time high. Has it been lower? Sure. Is it up a little bit? Sure. But overall, the long-term trend for at least the last 4 years, 3-4 years, has been that people have found out there's also smart contracts on Bitcoin. You mentioned a little bit earlier, smart contracts are on Bitcoin. They can be used in peer-to-peer lending, etc. Yeah, Ethereum is not at all-time highs. Not at all. It's half.
100%.
Well done, Anders. 100%.
Hey, so to be honest, I have been really, really busy, / to some extent, a little bit stressed out the last 10 days, moving different things, planning trip, and other things as well. I really enjoyed to sit down today and have this chat. It's been such a nice little mental oasis to speak to two good people. And Pubby, I know both of us enjoy the on-chain insights from William. Yeah, I just appreciate it, and I look forward to meet both of you in Miami. Can't believe it's only a month away now. Unbelievable.
1 month. Here we go. 1 month. Fucking Miami, baby. Yeah. So, William, finish up the show with your best take if you want. I will tell you this, man. We're going to have a great time there. There are so many people that I feel like they're family with me, to include Anders. I've not met yet. Meeting them, first time Miami. So what do you think? You'll be there, of course. So, man, you wrap up the show, brother. Wrap it up.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you to both of you guys. This is I told you this last time, but this is one of my favorite things to do in the Bitcoin ecosystem is I know I've only been on here twice now, but just come on here and chat with you guys. I mean, it's super fun. Like, I love the vibe on this show. It's just, he's very informal, just chilling, talking. I love the show, and I appreciate you guys having me on, and I'm looking forward to the next time that we talk, and hopefully we'll pump again next time, because so far we're 2 for 2, at least from the times that I've been on the show. But I think in terms of price, we're getting ready to pump pretty hard here. I don't know if we're going to consolidate. again for another couple of days. I don't know if we're going to consolidate for another week. I don't know if we're going to consolidate for another month. But when we finally break out of this zone, right now we have built up the strongest base of capital since 6,000 to 11,000 in terms of like on-chain volume. And so when you just think of it like a platform, right, for the price to grow off of, I think right now we are in like the bear market low for the next cycle. We're right in that range. Like we were talking about 3K to 5K, that lines up as well with what I'm talking about here. But yeah, I think we're building right now the bear floor for the next cycle. And when we finally break out of this consolidation zone, I don't think we're ever coming back. Just how it was with 10K that we were talking about. So hold strong, keep stacking here, because you're gonna pretty soon you're gonna be really wishing that you stacked harder at these levels. But thanks, guys, so much. I mean, it's been 2.5 hours almost, and it feels like we've been chatting for like 20 minutes. So I appreciate both of you.
Thank you. Likewise, William. We just super thrilled to hang out with you and learn so much. And I would say your final words here. There was so much gold in them, and
Beautiful.
it's beautiful. And can't wait to meet you in Miami. And if I should say some final words, it would be that people should be careful of storing more value in dirty fiat dollars, dirty fiat currency, be it dollars, euro, whatever. It has a built-in policy of stealing the value of your savings, stealing the value of your hard labor over time. They've convinced you it's a good idea. Obviously, it's not a good idea. People had jobs before inflation as well. Inflation and theft of your time and money is not necessary for this world to function and people to have jobs. Therefore, the three of us here, Pubby, William, and I, are looking to Bitcoin as a better way to store our value and secure the future and our retirement for ourselves and our kids, and help humanity discover. That's why we're here. So on that note, thank you, William. Thank you, Pubby. I even though we said once a month, let's see, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to say this. That was the internet telling me that I had done long enough a sign up. But what I was saying is, let's see if we can do another one end of May. Before Miami to pump it up. Otherwise, we'll definitely do it in June. But thanks, guys. Love hanging out with you. Thanks to the viewers. Yeah, see you on the next one.
You guys take it easy. See you next time. Whenever you want me on, I'm here. So just let me know. Take care, guys.
See ya.